Hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. I have been so not doing Facebook Lives for a while, so I wanted to pop back and come back and make a comeback and talk about how to stop feeling overwhelmed by your goals, which if one of your goals is like mine, which is to do a live stream on basically a daily basis, things can feel very overwhelming. So I just wanted to take you through my process. I did not go quiet because I was feeling overwhelmed. I actually went quiet because Friday was a holiday for me and Monday was a holiday for those in the States, Labor Day. And so I just figured. And then yesterday I had calls back to back, and so I didn't get my live stream in. But it totally makes sense to feel overwhelmed if you have especially very aggressive goals like live streaming every day, or like taking your business from part-time to full-time, or making the amount of money that you want to make in your business, or making an impact on the number of people that you're hoping to impact this year from your business. So we all have our own individual goals, whether it's through content creation, appearing on social media, or writing a blog post every week or so. Maybe it's in terms of signing on a certain number of clients or making a certain amount of money, and they can all feel very overwhelming, especially when we're probably trying to do all of them or many of them at once. So I wanted to walk through kind of my process of the way that I break down goal setting and try to take out the overwhelm. And the first thing that I like to do, before I dive in, I really like to get very specific and kind of put strategy and lean into my masculinity in a way. I think masculine energy is a lot more strategic and piecemeal and figuring out like the numbers and putting specificity to it. And then feminine energy is more of just allowing things to happen and allowing things to flow as they will and allowing things to be easy. And I definitely lean into both of those when pursuing goal setting. And I think it's important for us all to lean into both our masculine and feminine energy when we are pursuing a big goal that we might have. And so keep that in mind as I talk through this. So the first part is really going to be that masculine energy of setting some specific numbers or targets for what you want to achieve, just to know what it is that you're ultimately reaching for. And so the very first thing that I do is I set my goals in tiers. So if I have a really big, overarching, let's call it an income goal, since that's what I mainly help my clients do, is see how they can turn their impact into a big income and allow their business to be a platform that, support the lifestyle that they ultimately dream to live. And so if I have a lifestyle in mind and I'm really looking for my business to support that, while within my business I can make some sort of impact out in the world, then I probably have a specific idea of, what I would like to do with my life when I'm living that dream lifestyle. And I can actually tie numbers to it. So I'll go forward and I'll do that. And that'll be kind of my big, very long-term reach goal ultimately. So that would be something I call my dream or desire tier. And then I actually tier backwards. So I'll figure out, what do I need at this moment in terms of income? If you're looking at, a big goal when it comes to sales, like what is that really easy within reach thing that you can aim for? It's just beyond where you're at now, but you can pretty easily reach it. So it's kind of like the whole low-hanging fruit. And you want to set that as kind of a good starting point goal. And then find a middleman, find a medium term or medium reach goal where it's not like low-hanging fruit. If you just push a little bit, you'll be able to get it. But it's definitely not your long-term dream goal. It's a good position in the middle. And by the way, after you set these goals, they can always change. I think that's really important to remember, is nothing is permanent, especially when you're kind of doing some business planning and business things. So nothing is permanent. You can always change your goals, but having 3 tiers of where you're going after, especially when the ultimate goal is really long-term and big, having that broken down into tiers so you can feel rewarded and celebrate yourself and continue to be motivated with your goals is really important. So some people call this good, better, best goal setting, and that's a really great way to frame it. What would be a good thing, nice to have? What's that ultimate, first stepping point? And then what would be better? And then what's the ultimate best? I like to think of it as need, want, and desire, or need, want, and dream. So I'm looking at what do I need in terms of income so that I can, make the money that I need to make from my business, and how can my business support that? And then I jump into want, what would be nice to have? What would that next level thing that I would want in my life, or I would want for my business, what would that look like? And then how would that reflect from a revenue standpoint, and how can my business from a revenue standpoint support that type of lifestyle? And then what's the ultimate dream? And so I work through it in that way. And just having tiers to stone your way up allows you to stay motivated. And then, like I said, your 3 tiers, the numbers within them or whatever they are when it comes to goal setting, those can change. So you might achieve your need goal or your good goal and move on to your better goal. And maybe you move your better into the good, or you move your want goal into the need spot, and then you create a new better or a new want goal, which will be the middleman between where you are now and your ultimate dream. Because maybe your dream is to make $1 million a year. And right now, from just the numbers standpoint, you simply just need to make 6 figures, $100,000 a year. And so you're like, okay, I need to make $100,000 from my business. I would like to make, 250, that'd be great. But I ultimately dream of a business that is the $1 million mark. So those are pretty big gaps between those goals. It's still good to have them. You can, low-hanging fruit, reach for your need, and then once you hit that, you're already in process to reach for your want. But maybe your want now becomes your new need goal because you've surpassed your original one, and you can create a better middle place. Maybe now your need or your new good goal is $250,000 in business in that year, and so the next level up, that new want goal or that new better goal would be 500, because you still need that middle ground before you ultimately reach that $1 million. So that's just an example, but breaking it down that way is really going to help. The next thing I like to do is create an action list and really understand what actions can I be taking that are ultimately going to get me the results. This is really important. So many of us busy ourselves with taking actions that don't actually lead to the results that we're working towards because we get distracted or someone tells us, bad advice. And so we think, oh, I should be focused on this. In reality, when we step back and we look at our 3-tier goals and think about what ultimately is going to allow us to achieve those goals, and then we kind of reverse engineer that, we realize that the actions we're taking right now aren't leading to those results at all. So a good example might be that you want to be, a high ticket coach, and you're spending most of your time writing blog posts. And although having a blog is wonderful, and maybe if your focus in terms of making money was really on making affiliate revenue or advertising revenue, then spending most of your time on the blog would be important. But when you're trying to sell one-on-one coaching services, a better leverage of your time would be, connecting with individuals very personally. Maybe trying to simply grow your email list, which you can do fairly directly through social media, instead of having that long-term process of the blog. A blog has its time and place, but when you have a very specific need and goal that you're reaching for, and really what happens, maybe you're trying to work with, 10 people in a month. So you want to have 10 clients every month, and you're really reaching for those numbers, then spending all your time writing blog content isn't the direct, fastest action you can take to get to those numbers. So think about how you can get to those numbers. And once you reach those numbers, then you can start thinking about ways to diversify your content or expand your reach in other ways, but really try to find the most direct actions that are going to lead to those results. And then what I would do is just start with those actions first. Like really spend your time on those direct actions that are going to get you the results. And don't worry about what everyone else is doing or listening to other pieces of advice, because you know what's going to get you those sales, or what's going to get clients to sign up, or what's going to make that big impact. And so just focus on that. And then when we shift into more of the feminine, I think, you can really get specific about your strategy and your goals and put the numbers on it, but then you really want to go into trust and allowing things to be as they are, and knowing that your work is going to work in a way. It's going to attract the certain type of person that you're looking to attract by doing all of the work leading up to that, which might be getting really specific about who you want to reach and the numbers that you want. But then you really have to dive into trusting and just opening up your awareness and your subconscious mind so that you can have some of those really great opportunities present themselves and those awesome inflows of what you are ultimately looking for. And so you want to stay away from getting the numbers and then like squeezing the numbers so tight and being like, it has to be this. We want to set those numbers. We want to know what they are. We want to keep them top of mind, but then we want to go into, when it comes to the relationship aspect, when it comes to the creation aspect, we really want to dip into our femininity and trust and allow things to happen for us as we are upholding the foundation of the business or whatever, the thing is that's going to support your goals come to life. So those are a couple of things to, allow you to work through some of your goals and keep yourself from being super overwhelmed, and just really set up a good foundation for what it is that you know you want. Break up your goals into smaller steps, and then break up those tiered goals into even smaller action steps, and start taking those actions that are going to lead to the fastest results. And, be willing to try and fail, and also trust that it's going to come and happen for you as you follow the process that you set. So it's blending the masculine with the feminine, and it's going to work beautifully for you, so you don't feel overwhelmed and feel like this has to happen, otherwise, I'm gonna explode, whatever that looks like for you. So I hope that's helpful. If you guys want to break down your numbers in a sort of masculine way and then approach the actual manifestation and openness of allowing that money to come in from the feminine, I invite you to download my Easy Profit Roadmap. It teaches you my system and how I work with my clients to set them up with a really easy system that allows money to flow in and helps them manage it really easily with the foundations that they put in place, and identify their purpose-driven revenue goals. Because if you're going to set revenue goals, you might as well have purpose infused within them. So go to wonderwealthy.com/roadmap, or you can click the link in the description, and I hope that you build the business of your dreams. All right, until next time, I hope you guys wonder wealthy. Bye.